The Democratic National Committee is suing the Trump administration as it seeks answers about whether officials plan to send federal agents and troops to polling places and election sites. In its lawsuit filed yesterday, the DNC says it sent nearly a dozen Freedom of Information Act requests to the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and Defense for information concerning these potential deployments. And it says in nearly 5 months, it hasn't gotten any substantive responses. Federal law says armed agents are not allowed at election sites unless needed to protect against U.S. enemies. Last month, the DHS officials said officers would not be at the polls this year, but concerns about that prospect were raised after President Trump suggested Republicans nationalize elections. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now. So, Scott, what information is the DNC hoping to get out of this suit?
Yeah, Freedom of Information Act requests, Lindsay, are like growing a tree. You plant it, you water it, you give it some time. Then that thing grows, then you can chop it down. What they're asking for are records that may not be easy to collect. It may take some time. They may have to water this and wait for the tree to grow. They want any records involving plans for or preparations that have already begun for the deployment of ICE agents or other federal law enforcement at ballot boxes this year, as early voting is soon to begin in some states. They say they've given it sufficient time. The Department of Justice and Homeland Security haven't responded, so they are suing to get those records. They want to lay eyes on whatever plans there are. I asked the Department of Justice about this. They say that these requests, these FOIA requests, are quite new, that they've been responsive. The records haven't been provided, but that sufficient time hasn't been given. But you can see the subtext, can't you, Lindsay? I mean, they're arguing over the ICE agents and using this as a platform to have a broader debate over whether there should be any federal agents anywhere. And both parties want in on this fight, Lindsay. Democrats want to argue this is voter suppression by another name, that it chills, it intimidates voters. Republicans will use this to say, why are you so scared of ICE agents at the polls? Are there unlawful people voting in elections? This is a battle we're going to have on lots of different fronts between now and November.
What else are you hearing from the administration in reaction to this?
The administration's using any opportunity it can find to blast the Democratic National Committee. I mean, this is a prime sport for both parties to blast the other one's party apparatus whenever they can. The administration says this is a fledgling and meritless use of the DNC's money, and then they took a couple more shots at the DNC for frequently misusing their money and resources. I suspect if the roles were reversed, we'd hear a very symmetrical argument from a Democratic administration against the RNC.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you.